Good evening, friends. Good evening, humans. Why everybody is still waiting for a reset? Financial reset, spiritual reset, religious reset. They call it rapture. Or why they need a medical reset on the body or restart. They have to recreate what has been already created. Title for today goes like this: Dark reset will never happen. Not that the reset in the form of restarting certain systems that we operated as a humanity will never happen, but it will be not under the terminology and the terms from the dark. We had them many times before. I'll just emphasize more on the financial side. Why Napoleon did what he did, why Rothschild sent a message to British stock markets so they start plummeting, and why they bought everything for just a penny on a dollar. At that time he bought like 90-something% of the stock existing, and when the true informations come that actually Napoleon lost this battle, we end up, or Britain and all the financial corporations end up in the hands of Rothschilds. Rotten child, this is what they are. So again, happening in a contemporary times, in this 20th and 21st century, Soros did a same absolute game with the British pound, that he crushed it so much, and then he bought about 9 billion pounds with the very fractional amounts, again with the fractional dollars that he did not have, yet he just managed to manipulate the markets so badly that he can buy as much as possible. So he re-entered into ownership of many corporations, many governments. And this is not the only part where Soros gets involved, and he's trying to instigate the trauma on the system or on the nation. Mostly they go on the system, because system is the one who controls the people of the nation. And people don't pay attention much, they just follow, and they're expecting that the governments, whoever they are, communists, capitalists, socialists, they will save them somehow, which will actually never happen until they change their attitude towards the system in itself. When they see how fraudulent system was and what's happening in a present time, like these last couple of weeks, we had another big attempt to basically take over a Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency that now everybody's talking about. Again, done by many of some very dirty intruders who came as so-called programmers or business owners or ICO startup initiators, yet with a very sinister agenda. They start bringing, first of all, their own exchange with its own, let's say, abilities, and controlling that everything is still very centralized. I'm talking BTC exchange. I'm talking about BTC Connect, another token that it's really end up from nothing into $150 at the present time per each token in a matter of 8 months. August 1st, 2017, a new potential attack happened on the blockchain of the Bitcoin. They want to do hard forking, and they want to actually just increase the amounts that Bitcoins can be created. Yet, rules are rules. Once when the Bitcoin has been set, there is nothing of any kind of external influence that is specially centralized. They can just go like in one fraction of the Bitcoin and make decisions based on all the other Bitcoins that are already mined. So there is no way that this kind of attempts will intrude into the value or worthiness of the Bitcoin. Actually, it will increase it. I'm talking about Bitcoin Cash, that it was 1st of August, just spin off, and now it's trading on about $500 something. Very dirty business, okay? Yet, this time, you cannot actually take over huge amounts of Bitcoins or huge amount of users as they did when the Soros did it or when the Rothschild did it in 1700s, when they took over British pound, and again British pound and some other, let's say, Ukrainian I think levy as well. So these are the attempts. They were very, very successful because they were very centralized, and they can hit one spot and try to actually keep a control, and they kept the control until the Bitcoin shows up in 2007. Why it will never be able to succeed? Because Bitcoin and the blockchain is decentralized, peer-to-peer or person-to-person, computer-to-computer communication. They cannot say Bitcoin will be that much and then they will start trading it against, doesn't matter, BTC, Bitcoin Cash, for that much, and then we'll just dump as much we have. All the fake dollars will go into BTC Cash so they can extract as much Bitcoins out. Yet, they can attempt it, but they will never be able to succeed, because Bitcoin is continue its own creation. Every 10 minutes a new Bitcoin is mined. Every 10 minutes new Bitcoin is mined. There's not fake printing of the funds, dollars, whatever, euros, as it was happening with the central banks. Again, look at the name, central banks, based on the Federal Reserve, which has no reserves whatsoever. So, go back to the title. Everybody's in last couple of years talking about a reset, financial reset. Financial resets are happening since Bitcoin came out. Yet, it will not be a day that everything is cut off, so suddenly nobody's using dollars or they will exchange everything into the Bitcoins. No, it's trickling. Every 10 minutes, one Bitcoin comes out. Every 10 minutes. Yet, the amount of dollars that coming into this, now it's enormous. It's 180 billion, let's call it industry or financial platform. This is a little on the global scale, but in a matter of weeks, you will just see enormous jumps. Bitcoin is doubling basically every two to 3 months. Every 2 to 3 months is doubling in like 200 to 300% jumps in value. Yet the amount of printed or mined Bitcoins remain the same. Why we actually need so badly our reset? Because we're living beyond our means, beyond our, let's say, immediate needs. We're buying, we're consumeristic driven society who has no mercy to anything, just to their own immediate fix. I want car, I want hamburger, I want whatever. And our kids were taught the same way. So when they're growing up and they being, let's say, they have to be productive, so-called, into the society, start working, they behave the same way. And if the banks, these fake banks, offer them credits based on the fake currency based on fractional reserves, fractional creation of the funds, they just gullibly take it, all the credit cards, all the loans they can get. They're buying overpriced houses. They're spending on the clothes with so-called tags or names, and putting themselves in a debt for something that it has absolutely no value, like a branding. They can rename it. Branding is to me like barcoding. They put a stamp on your forehead like a big barcode that you are absolutely, a lunatic who spends over your needs. And they can trick you by programming you, by sweet talking to you, that you buy what you don't need. So, financial reset, this dark one, is not happening. Yet, there are many other factors that are happening under layer, underground. This is like universal basic income or unconditional basic income. They will maybe come through some individual governments. They will start helping some people, then more people, then pretty much all the population. Yet the most intriguing one is the basic UBI or unconditional basic income based on cryptocurrencies. So whoever has a chance to investigate now some of these UBI coins is called Grant Coin. It's already started distributing on a global scale, on the planetary scale. Wherever you live, you'll always receive the same amount of coins for the beginning. So this platform is fully kind of start blooming, yet it's only 3,000-4,000 people now on this platform, which means that nobody even think that they deserve more that they have now. Now what you're receiving from the banks, from your governments, you're receiving food stamps, you're receiving some kind of social welfare, which is absolutely, cheating on your life, because you have to spend all this on high electricity, high rentals, and so on. So where and how we can going to do this reset? To my feeling is it will be done in a many of small stages. I'm talking hundreds of stages. One of these stages came today, where ETHEREUM, another very smart contract blockchain, signed a very major deal with a Russian government-owned and controlled bank. So read a bit about this if you like in some of the links that I'll provide. Yet it's not up to me to say how it's going to happen. It's up to the Russian people. How they're going to accept it, that there is a possibility that government will distribute Ethereums as UBI, as unconditional basic income, which is such a beautiful idea, because everybody will be rewarded as equally as anybody else. There will be no somebody who has more money to buy. Maybe they can buy, but it will be distributed based on your request and your energy, that you are alive and you actually receive this grant coin, or whatever it will be called. Why the dark reset is always so important for these crushers of the old systems. They pretend they are crushing the old system, yet basically they were tricking everybody else involved. So when they are talking about the crash of the stock markets, to me, it would not happen. It would just deflate. In one moment, you will know that the traffic is there completely false and fake and synthetically fabricated, so it will worth nothing. For you, it will no matter how much a Microsoft stock is worth, because you don't consume this. You don't need it. You will not need it very much soon, because you can get any kind of other free open source codes that you can use instead of Microsoft. And it will be much more secure, with many less holes, or pretty much no backdoor holes, that the Microsoft is pretty much openly advertising that they're doing. Telephony system as well will be completely revamped. So, do we expect anything big to happen? Really? Depending if Trump makes announcement and then let's say the government or Congress decide not to react right now, he will probably make a big executive order. And the ones who are going to be really screwed are these rich ones who has ownership of all the lands and houses and factories and so on. Because this will be the most taxable items on them. So when this is resolved, when this kind of balance goes in between, everybody from very, very super rich goes down to a myriad of very poor at the moment, and they all get equalized, we can talk about maybe not having taxes at all. Because the government has to come out clean why they were taxing you at all. I mean, they're taxing you still because you don't complain and you still go and pay. So this is like almost like catch-22. It does not have any power over you until you allow it. Because you don't say anything and you still continue paying, they will rape you day in and day out. So, do you want to stop paying taxes? Really, your choice. Do you want to be better than somebody else? I don't think you will be, because there will be no competition in this kind of environment. And this is not a socialism, this is not a communism, because all these isms were inventions of a dark, sinister system where they have to make a profit by drowning people into, let's say, fake equality. What's happened in all communist regimes, even in the present capitalistic regimes, is so obvious that these, let's say, average people, they received 2 apples a day and they think they don't deserve more. Yet they have, seeing the people on the Forbes list of Forbes magazine, 100 most rich dudes, what they can do with all these billions except rubbing it into your face and creating more trauma on you until you say it's enough. So when it's enough for you to be so gullible and so cheap to be sold, so cheap to be raped day in and day out, set your price and stop allowing that governments, corporations, taxations are raping you every single moment. Control your urges to buy anything on the credit. Start getting involved with the bitcoins, with the cryptocurrencies. Start getting involved with the grant coin and UBI, let's call it technology, where equality is the primary motive. That there's no residual kind of side effects if everybody's equal, no matter what. So we will all start paying attention how we're treating animals, how we're treating earth, how we're treating sea, how we're treating each other. So the competition will be actually completely eradicated from the planet Earth. Yeah, this is just my simple command. For how long? Depending on each one of you.